What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at a Philadelphia lightweight by the name of Len Mathis. Now, Len Mathis was born May 12, 1939 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He died August 29, 2005 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, he was a lightweight that stood 5 foot 8 inches and had total bouts of 55 fights, 42 wins, 29 KOs, 10 losses, and he was stopped 3 times himself. Now, one of those fights he was stopped was one of the most brutal stoppages of all time. It was against Carlos Ortiz. Carlos Ortiz from Puerto Rico, was from the Bronx. And he took the lightweight championship away from Joe Brown from Louisiana. They called him Old Bones, Joe Brown. But Carlos Ortiz was a fascinating fighter who trains in Gleason's gyms on 149th Street, right off the concourse. Gleason's gym at that time looked like a movie theater. But you had great fighters come out of that gymnasium, and Carlos Ortiz was one of them. And he had to meet Len Mathis. And he met him April 13th, 1959. But Len Mathis would fight fighters such as Pappy Gold, May 13th, 1958. He would defeat him. And Pappy Gold was a fantastic fighter. He had a fighting record coming in at 66-22 with 2 no decisions. He would face Henry Two-Pick Brown. He would defeat him. He fought him June 12, 1958. And Two-Pick Brown had a fighting record of 24 wins and 6 losses. Orlando Zulueta from Cuba. He defeated him. Had a fighting record of 66 wins, 35 losses, 11 draws. He fought him October 21st, 1958. He was in there with Ray Lancaster. All these are very good fighters. Defeated him. 29 wins, 6 losses. He fought him December 22nd, 1958. Now, he lost to fighters such as Carlos Ortiz. At the time, Carlos Ortiz had a fighting record of 28 wins, 2 losses. He was never knocked out. And like I said, he fought him April 13, 1959. And that was one of the most brutal contests of all times. But he would continue. He would fight Willie Tower, who would wind up becoming a bantamweight champion. He had 42 wins, 3 losses. Fought him November 20th, 1959. Johnny Busso, very good fighter. He was in there with Joe Brown. Now, Johnny Busso had a fighting record of 35-10-1. At the time, he would face Len Mathis. That fight took place February 1st, 1960. Len Mathis would also face Doug Verwent, very good fighter, 21-1-2. Fought him April 22nd, 1960. He fought Arthur Percy, 66 wins, 12 losses, May 12th, 1960. He would fight Raul Armstead, 66 wins, 35 losses, January 16th, 1959. And he would lose to Raul Armstead, but it goes to show you the experience that he was up against. J.D. Ellis, fighting record of 20 wins, 10 losses, St. Nicholas Arena. Fought him February 6th, 1961. Dave Cheney lost to him. Paolo Rossi lost to him. That fight took place Madison Square Garden. Luis Molina lost to him. Kenny Lane lost to him. Now, Kenny Lane, along with Carlos Ortiz and Jake LaMotta, and many others, fought out at Gleason's gym on 149th Street. Goes to show you the competition in Gleason's gymnasium. So I just want to salute Len Mathis, Philadelphia lightweight, phenomenal fighter. And it took the gym by surprise, that knockout loss of Carlos Ortiz, because Len Mathis was an up-and-coming lightweight. Now, you had Joe Frazier, but he was a heavyweight. You still had Georgie Benton. He was a middleweight. Joey Giardello, another middleweight. Bobby Green, Bobby Green wound up becoming a trainer, but he was a fantastic bantamweight. Moved up to lightweight division. And then you had locals, young men coming up, as the Evans brothers, a young Ronnie Harris, Benny Briscoe. A lot of the young men coming up, but they were middleweights and welterweights, heavyweights, but you didn't really have lightweights. So Len Mathis was the up-and-coming Philadelphia lightweight. And it turned that town upside down when he was knocked out in the fashion that he was with Carlos Ortiz. But salute to Len Mathis. Salute to him. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Look up Len Mathis, phenomenal middleweight in the lightweight division.